Hi, I'm Steve Martin, and I loved working with my two co-stars in our new movie, The Big Year. The incredibly talented Mr. Jack Black.
Sup?
And, of course, the very funny Mr. Luke Wilson.
Owen.
Sorry, Luke Owen, everybody. Big fan, love it.
Come ahead!
This is Michael Falkner, and it's showtime in the October 11th, 2011 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Let's start out with last weekend's box office results, beginning with number 10 and Contagion, steady from last week's performance. At number 9 is last week's 8, What's Your Number? In 8th place is Dream House, slipping from 6th. In 7th we find The Lion King 3D, dropping 4 spots from last week's 3rd place position. At number 6 is Courageous, down from 4th. In 5th place is 50/50, staying steady with another $5.7 million to bring this dark comedy to $17 million total. In 4th place is last week's runner-up, Moneyball, batting up another $7.5 million for a grand total of $49 million, which nearly meets the $50 million budget. In 3rd place is last week's winner, Dolphin Tale, adding another $9.1 million to the total take of $49 million over 3 weeks. In 2nd is new release, Ides of March, debuting with $10.1 million. With that start, the Ides of March, Moneyball, and Courageous have pushed Sony over the $1 billion mark for 2011 domestic box office totals. This marks the 6th straight year for Sony reaching that milestone and makes them the 4th studio to do so behind Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Disney. This week's winners are the Robots of Real Steel, punching into the box office with a $27 million debut. That beats Rocky IV's $20 million total for the highest debut of a boxing movie, but makes a rather average start for a movie about robots. October 14th brings a handful of new releases vying for that top spot. We'll begin with The Thing, a horror mystery starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Joel Edgerton, and Ulrich Thompson.
48 hours ago, we found something quite remarkable.
What'd they find?
There's a structure.
In Antarctica?
And a specimen.
Really?
Touching down.
This is Kate Lloyd's, Columbia Paleontology.
Let me show you why you flew 10,000 miles. We estimate it's been here 100,000 years.
I'm going to take a tissue sample.
Do you really think that's a good idea?
Yes, I do. You, my friends, will all be immortalized as the people who made this discovery.
Did you hear that?
My God.
Somebody was attacked.
But it seems everyone is fine.
Either someone miraculously healed themselves, or someone is not who they say they are.
What was it doing to him?
It's imitating his cells. I think this thing copies its prey and then hides inside it.
What are you saying?
Not all of us are human. Could be any of us. You can't let this thing leave. If it makes it out of here, millions of people could die.
In this prequel to the 1982 classic, the discovery of an alien craft at an Antarctic research site leads to a confrontation between graduate student Kate Lloyd and scientist Dr. Sander Halverson. The Thing is rated R. Next up is Footloose, a musical drama starring Kenny Wormold, Julianne Howe, and Dennis Quaid.
Ren McCormick.
We are so happy to have you with us. I think you're gonna love Beaumont.
People gave you crap about that tie yet?
Nah, but the day just started.
Public dances against the law if you're under 18 in Beaumont.
Are you kidding me? What do people do here? Just hang out?
Yeah, and other stuff.
I don't want you to see that boy again.
Why?
Because I've heard he's trouble.
What, you can't keep up? Very good.
Our Lord is testing us. And it seems to have started when Ren McCormick came to town.
My name is Ren McCormick, and I want to move on behalf of most of the senior class of Beaumont High that the law against public dancing within the town limits of Beaumont be abolished. I know you gotta do what you gotta do, but that ain't gonna stop it from happening.
In this remake of the 1984 classic, city kid Ren McCormick moves to a small town where rock and roll and dancing have been banned, and his rebellious spirit shakes up the populace. Footloose is rated PG-13. And last on the wide release slate is The Big Year, a comedy starring Owen Wilson, Jack Black, and Steve Martin.
There's going to be major fallout in a few hours.
Nuclear fallout?
Bird fallout.
Have you ever wondered what killed your marriage to Steph in 03?
First of all, I was married to Bridget in 03.
January 1st, I'm out of here.
You realize the phase after retirement looks a little bit like this?
You quit school, you quit work.
Dad?
Great talking to you. I just want to do something big, you know?
We need a little adventure.
I'm doing a big year.
Big year to do all the things we never could.
Now,
You'd think they'd be exhausted by now.
Race to the bottom?
they're turning their quest
They're men, dear. They ever stop competing, they die.
into the ultimate competition.
Yeah! This is my year. I'm gonna make my mark.
Can't miss the flight. There's not another one for a week.
Sucks for him.
Yeah. Cooking?
Yeah.
From the director of The Devil Wears Prada and Marley and Me.
One of us has to beat this SOB.
When it comes to comedy,
Did you just do a victory dance?
No. Maybe. Yes, I did.
go big or go home.
You bought me drinks and got what you wanted.
Really?
You don't want to know.
Steve Martin, Jack Black, Owen Wilson.
Most people wake up one day and realize they didn't do everything they wanted to do.
Am I nuts, Edith?
Are you asking me as a therapist or as a wife?
Which one is cheaper?
This is incredible, isn't it? Unless there's a freak blizzard. I shouldn't have said there's going to be a freak blizzard. I jinxed it.
The Big Year.
They're going up around the bend.
3 avid bird watchers compete to spot the rarest birds in North America at a prestigious annual event. The Big Year is rated PG. In limited release, we have The Texas Killing Fields, a crime drama starring Sam Worthington, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Chloe Grace Moretz. In the Texas Bayous, a local homicide detective teams up with a cop from New York City to investigate a series of unsolved murders. The Texas Killing Fields is rated R. Next up is Trespass, a crime drama starring Nicolas Cage, Nicole Kidman, and Cam Geeganday. As they're held for ransom, a husband and wife's predicament grows more dire amid the discovery of betrayal and deception. Trespass is rated R. And last is Father of Invention, a comedic drama starring Kevin Spacey, Camilla Bell, and Heather Graham. Robert Axel, an eccentric inventor who through wealth and fame finds unexpected misfortune and after many hardships is ready to redeem his name and rebuild his billion-dollar empire. Father of Invention is rated PG-13. October 11th is a big day for new releases, and we begin with The Green Lantern, an action-adventure film starring Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Peter Sarsgaard. In a story based on the DC Comics franchise, a test pilot is granted a mystical green ring that bestows him with otherworldly powers, as well as membership into an intergalactic squadron tasked with keeping peace within the universe. Green Lantern is rated PG-13. Next is Horrible Bosses, a crime comedy starring Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudeikis. 3 friends conspire to murder their awful bosses when they realize they are standing in the way of their happiness. Horrible Bosses is rated R. Next is The Tree of Life, a drama starring Brad Pitt, Sean Penn, and Jessica Chastain. This story centers around the family with 3 boys in the 1950s. The eldest son witnesses the loss of innocence. The Tree of Life is rated PG-13. Next is Zookeeper, a romantic comedy starring Kevin James, Rosario Dawson, and Leslie Bibb. A group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love, without opting to leave his current job for something more illustrious. Zookeeper is rated PG. Next is Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer, a family film starring Jordana Beatty, Heather Graham, and Paris Mosteller. Third grader Judy Moody sets out to have the most thrilling summer of her life. Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer is rated PG. Next is Beautiful Boy, a drama starring Michael Sheen, Maria Bello, and Kyle Gallner. A married couple on the verge of separation are leveled by the news that their 18-year-old son committed a mass shooting at his college, then took his own life. Beautiful Boy is rated R. And the new release slate rounds out with The Trip, a comedy starring Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon, and Claire Keelan. Steve Coogan has been asked by The Observer to tour the country's finest restaurants, but after his girlfriend backs out on him, he must take his best friend and source of eternal aggravation, Rob Brydon. The Trip is not rated. Moving on to TV on DVD, we have Bones Season 6, starring David Boreanaz, Emily Deschanel, and Michaela Conlon. After a much-needed break, forensic anthropologist Dr. Temperance Brennan and FBI Special Agent Celie Booth return to the Jeffersonian Institute, along with their team of investigative squints, for another darkly humorous season of murder, mystery, controversy, and chemistry. In addition to a vast array of personal crises, ranging from Angela's secret pregnancy to Booth's new relationship with a beautiful reporter, the team tackles a complex caseload of gruesome crimes that include facing a murderous chupacabra, a trip to the Jersey Shore, the final return of Gravedigger, and a vigilante sniper with a deadly link to Booth's past. Next is Chuck, Season 4, starring Zachary Levi, Yvonne Strahovski, and Joshua Gomez. Nice guy computer nerd and newly minted CIA agent Chuck Bartkowski is finally teamed both personally and professionally with the lovely and deadly CIA agent Sarah Walker. Meanwhile, Chuck and best buddy Morgan search for Chuck's long-lost missing mother, Mary Bartkowski, thought to be a rogue agent working for the villainous international arms dealer Alexei Volkov. Mary's loyalty is something of a mystery, especially after she deprives Chuck of the use of the intersect embedded in his brain, which provides him with his spy skills. If classics are more your taste, we have Doctor Who, The Talons of Wing Chiang, starring Tom Baker, Louise Jameson, and Christopher Benjamin. The Talons of Wing Chiang is a 6-part adventure with the 4th Doctor set in Gothic Victorian London, which is inspired by the Phantom of the Opera and Sax Rohmer's tales of Fu Manchu, with nods toward Jack the Ripper, Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes. The Doctor brings Leela to the Victorian London of the 1890s to see how her ancestors lived, but is rapidly drawn into a fiendish plot involving Chinese Kongs, disappearing women, an Asian stage magician, a murderous ventriloquist dummy, and giant rats in the sewers. From the 4th to the 10th, we have Doctor Who, The David Tennant Years, a 26-disc set comprising the entirety of David Tennant's tenure as the 10th Doctor, including Series 2 through 4, all the specials, both animated series, all on Z. This week also brings Gunsmoke, Season 5, Volume 1, starring James Arness, Milburn Stone, Dennis Weaver, and Amanda Blake. Matt Dillon is in charge of Dodge City, a town in the Wild West where people often have no respect for the law. He deals on a daily basis with the problems associated with frontier life, cattle rustling, gunfights, brawls, standover tactics, and land fraud. Such situations call for sound judgment and brave actions, of which Marshall Dillon has plenty. Also in classic westerns, we have Bonanza, Season 2, Volume 2, starring Michael Landon, Bill Clark, and Lauren Green. The Cartwrights are back. Join America's first family of the West as they battle outlaws, help the needy, and romance beautiful ladies at the spectacular Ponderosa Ranch and in rip-roaring Virginia City.
We now return to The Incredible Hulk, starring Bill Bixby.
Next is a re-release of The Incredible Hulk Returns, and The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, starring Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno, Jack Colvin, and Rex Smith. The Incredible Hulk Returns brings The Incredible Hulk and the Mighty Thor, 2 superheroes who joined forces for the first time to crush the forces of evil. Mere mortals don't stand a chance against their combined fury. Not the corrupt military man LeBeau, who will resort to theft, murder, and kidnapping to obtain a top-secret gamma-ray transponder. Not the long-time Hulk hunter Jack McGee, whose obsession with stopping the Hulk verges on madness. Not even the good intentions of David Banner, who only wants to rid himself of his furious alter ego. For when the two awesome superheroes stop feuding long enough to breathe, they are the team unmatched by any in fact or fiction. And when the Incredible Hulk returns, he does so with a vengeance. Also, the trial of the Incredible Hulk includes superheroes the Incredible Hulk and Daredevil in an explosive adventure. On the run again and trying to find a way to cope with his destructive alter ego, Dr. David Banner is jailed for assault after interrupting a mugging. Blind attorney Matt Murdock enlists Banner's help in locating the muggers because he believes they work for his longtime foe, Fisk, the head of International Crime Network. But David, afraid of public exposure, breaks out of jail as the Hulk. Tracking David down, Murdock reveals his own secret. His blindness came from the radioactive spill, and after developing his other senses so incredibly, he's become the amazingly athletic crime fighter called Daredevil. Fisk now must face off against Daredevil and the fury of the invincible Incredible Hulk. And finally, we have Jem and the Holograms, the truly outrageous complete series, starring Samantha Newark, Kathy Ann Bloor, and Cindy McGee. In 1985, the truly outrageous TV show Jem and the Holograms premiered to the delight of young girls and boys. The animated series focused on the dual life of beautiful Jerrica Benton, co-owner of Starlight Music, and her pop star alter ego, Jem, lead singer for the all-girl band Jem and the Holograms. Now you can relive the adventures of Jem and the Holograms and their arch rivals, the Misfits and the Stingers, in this first ever complete collector's edition DVD box set. All 65 episodes of the hit series are included, accompanied by exclusive bonus discs of brand new and archival material rarely seen. Let's finish this off with the quick flicks. After the success of The Lion King 3D, Disney has announced it will be re-releasing an additional 4 of its classics to 3D. The titles selected include Beauty and the Beast, Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., and The Little Mermaid. Beauty and the Beast in 3D begins a limited theatrical run on January 13th, 2012. Following that on September 14th is Finding Nemo 3D. Monsters, Inc. in 3D will debut on January 18th, 2013, a mere 6 months before the prequel Monsters University premieres on June 21st. And finally, The Little Mermaid in 3D will swim into theaters on September 13th, 2013. Comcast customers in Portland and Atlanta will be able to watch the Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy, Matthew Broderick action comedy Tower Heist in their homes 3 weeks after its theatrical debut, November 4th. The video-on-demand offering is a test scenario for the 500,000 Comcast digital subscribers in Portland and Atlanta, and the entry price is a mere $59.99. This move is likely not to play well with theater owners who already oppose the shrinking theatrical window. Earlier this year, exhibitors threatened to change their trailer policies when Warner Bros., Fox, Sony, and Universal tested a video-on-demand service on DirecTV, where they offer titles 60 days after theatrical releases for $30. That test was considered unsuccessful and was boycotted by Cinemark theaters. Similarly, Cinemark, who is the third largest theatrical chain in the United States, says it will not screen Tower Heist if Universal proceeds with this test. Just a few weeks ago, Netflix unveiled a plan to spin off their DVD by mail service into a completely separate site called Qwikster. To call the decision unpopular is an understatement. After watching their stocks tank, CEO and co-founder Reed Hastings announced that the Qwikster idea will be scrapped, and Netflix will remain one entity. From Hastings, quote, "It is clear that for many of our members, 2 websites would make things more difficult, so we're going to keep Netflix as one place to go for streaming and DVDs. That means no change. One website, one account, one password. In other words, no Qwikster. While the July price change was necessary, we are now done with price changes," end quote. The cost of flip-flopping on this business decision? 1 million subscribers and a 57% drop in stock price in the last 2 months. I'm hoping they're back on track and done trying to fix what wasn't broken. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicgriff.com and leave a note on the forums. Leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicgriff.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check into the network on GetGlue, and leave us a review on iTunes. You can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Grift on Facebook. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through the store supports the Chronic Grift. Look for the link in our show notes. The Weekly Podioplex is a collaboration of Criticality and Lucky Shot Productions. This is Michael Falkner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you at the theater.